Welcome to the Prep Pigskin Report podcast, hosted by Papa Pig himself, Paul Rudy.
Welcome to PPR Podcast number 29. Everybody knows Burt. My name is Paul. In the upper square there is Rancho Bernardo head coach Tristan McCoy. And in the lower square, with the beard, is the coach that will soon be the head coach in 2023, I believe, of the Rancho Bernardo, Mr. Eric Weddle. Gentlemen, thank you for making time for the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Well, first of all, can we start out with how do you guys know one another?
Go ahead, T.
Yeah, so a mutual friend, best man at my wedding, became, he's a little bit kind of like the mayor around here. Everybody knows him and loves him. And he and Eric, I think, met at, was it LA Fitness? Is that right, Eric? And this is probably 10 years ago, something like that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So they became really close friends. And then, we started taking our kids to monster truck jams, a long time ago, and started playing hoops together and all that stuff. So.
Tristan, when you watch this, you're going to realize how bad your background is compared to Eric's. From this point of view right here, it's scary. Hey, the one thing you did, Tristan, I always heard was the culture you put in there and the character with the program. It was kind of evident because this is our 30th one, and they're the first ones to beat us on. They were 5 minutes early on party time.
Early is on time. On time is late.
So is that something
with
Eric?
And Burt, I made that joke to Eric, that same joke to Eric while we were waiting. I'm like, man, I gotta up my background game.
I know, just put like a youth football jersey, hang it up back there or something, man. So is that something important when you were looking for someone to take over because I know it's like your baby there. I mean, you teach there. Was that important to get that right person to keep it going, what you had built?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I started playing RB Pop Warner when I was 9-10 years old, and so this program has been everything to me. It's made me who I am, and so what I've told people is you take the NFL stuff, take all of Eric's accomplishments away. Just as I've gotten to know him, just the amazing human being he is, and the way he treats people. He's out in the community serving. He just does things the right way, top to bottom. And so, take away all the NFL stuff. He's still the right fit. The guy that I would choose over anybody else.
So, Eric, you have a Super Bowl ring. You have this phenomenal career. You're one of the best to ever play your position. Why? Why do you, I get the love of football, but why? It's a lot of work coaching a high school football team.
Yeah. It's just the next, I've always envisioned and dreamed of coaching, right? Like in high school, and in college, I got my degree in special education, mild and moderate disabilities, to be able to teach and coach high school football. Like that's what I wanted to do. And obviously, my career went in another direction. But I just love the game, and I love giving back. And honestly, I'm at the point in my life where this game has brought so much joy to my life, and I've learned the ups and downs, the adversity. The wins and losses, but just how being a great person, a great teammate, and what football molds you into the man, right? Molds you into what you can become if you give your all to this game. And now I'm at the point where I just want to give back, and I want to teach and inspire kids that the principles that have helped me throughout my life and my career. And being able to experience that this past season with my son and being the head coach of my son's 12U team, gosh, I had so much fun with it, and really just solidified the importance of giving back, but not just that, but inspiring to be a head coach of a high school program one day. And, how fortunate and humbled I am that Tristan reached out and had this crazy idea, a lot of crazy ideas going on in the last couple months, but just humbled by the opportunity to take over such a great program and a great man and someone I admire and look up to in a lot of ways.
Well, after Kevin O'Connell depleted the Rams staff, are there restrictions on how many Rams you can bring over?
Yeah, I don't know. I've had a couple teammates say, "Hey, you need a special teams coordinator, you need a position coach." just let me know. Like, it was pretty funny to see the guys actually joke, half-heartedly joke, but also like, hey, when I'm done playing, like, leave a spot open for me. So it's kind of cool. And that's, I think it's a lot of guys that play in the league. I think it's just a natural progression to want to give back and want to stay within the game, but not stay at the level that we were at for so long because of the time and the sacrifice and everything else. But now it's more so just the love of the game. Like high school football and youth sports is the most purest you will find, because literally you're playing because you love it and you want to play it, not because you have to play it.
Do you think if you wouldn't have had developed this friendship with Tristan, whether you'd be still going the path and become a head coach? Or because I know Tristan teaches psychology, so I'm wondering if he used like a Jedi mind trick on you and tricked you into it early. And now he wants to stay on staff so you can deal with all the parents and he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But would you still be a head coach? I mean, would it or just come a little later?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted to, I'm going to coach my son's 14U team again one more, and then obviously the transition. And I just wanted I just felt like it's time to give back to my son. He's been put on the back burner for a lot of years. So would it have happened this quickly? I don't know. I think eventually at some point I would have been coaching somewhere because I just felt strongly about that and strongly about how cool it would be. Friday Night Lights, I try to tell people like, the best part of Sunday night and Monday Night Football is how it reminds me of Friday Night Lights, right? And those games that you had with your buddies that you grew up playing with. So it's just I'm just super grateful for this chance, and I know that I won't let T down in the high school.
Well, Coach McCoy, what is going to be the biggest challenges that a former NFL Pro Bowler is going to face trying to take over? I mean, he knowing the game at the ultimate, the 301 level, now having to bring it down to the 101 level. What's that challenge transition going to be like?
Well, I think Eric got a taste of it this year working with, the 12-year-olds or 11-year-olds at, on Pop Warner that you have to translate all. It doesn't matter what it matters what you can get the kids to do and what you can get them to buy in to do. And somebody asked me the other day, like, the kids are just going to listen and just absorb everything Eric is telling them to do because he's so full of knowledge. And I think that's true. But at the end of the day, the kids and the parents are going to buy into Eric, not because of, what he's done in the NFL. It's the person who he is. And again, that title, that label of Super Bowl champ is only going to take you so far. You have to build that trust every day, showing up and those relationships that you keep with the kids and the parents. That's what's going to be the most important thing. But that's what he's so good at. So he's going to thrive at that. It's going to be the equipment ordering and the fundraising and the facility requests and all that stuff, which is why he's going to keep me around for that's job security for me, right?
Wait, Eric, are you familiar with the cookie dough fundraiser? Are you able to do it?
Hey, go ahead.
I was watching. It's funny. The first thing I thought I was watching that Kevin James movie on Netflix where he's when Sean Payton goes back to coach high school.
Oh gosh, so funny! I just watched that a couple nights ago when I was in the theater by myself at 12 at night. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, hey, this looks pretty good.
You and I say the den. He says the theater. See the difference? But I mean, the first thing I thought of, you're 1 week off the biggest stage in the world, pretty much, starting, calling the plays, and then the next coaching a high school football team. It's almost like I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna have a Netflix movie next. So you can watch it in his theater.
It's been a wild 6 weeks.
I bet.
When you retire from the game, you think that dream is done. And I retired at the right time, and I did it the way I wanted to. I didn't want to hold on, and mentally, I couldn't keep up the work. It just became unbearable. And man, geez, 6 weeks later, I'm back, putting my life on hold, putting Chanel and the kids hostage. She's been the rock for us for my entire my entire career without her. This would have never even happened, and my career wouldn't have been what it was without her. So a lot of love to her and appreciation, because she's been a one woman wrecking crew the last 6 weeks, holding it down for us.
Tristan, I know you're going to transition, stay on the staff. You're going to be a coordinator. You're going to be a position coach. What's your idea? I know you can't tell yet, but I mean, looking forward, do you want to be as much involved as a coordinator, or just more of a position coach?
Honestly, wherever I'm needed, that's what I'll do. I've told Eric I'll go down to the freshman level and coach those guys up, empty the waste baskets, whatever he needs. I'm
cookie dough.
I'm there. Yeah, I'm there for the program. I'm there for the kids. I'm there to support him in any way I can.
Do you think
so? I did have a chance. I was coaching the All-Star game this year with Coach Baldwin and Nick Novak. Actually, Eric, I talked to him yesterday. Crazy. He's a head coach now. Coover's a head coach, and Phil and you. It's kind of wild, but anyways, I got to show up. Damon Baldwin was the head coach, and I got to show up and just coordinate, and it was so much fun. And so I'm just looking forward to helping in any way I can.
Were you surprised that we were at that game and Coach Baldwin, it's 8 at night and it's freezing and he's wearing sunglasses on the sideline? Can you explain that to us at a night game wearing sunglasses?
Coach Baldwin is the godfather, man. He coached me in high school. I love that guy. He's the real dude. But yeah, he was out there and cut off sleeves.
Yeah,
and shorts, doing what he does.
Well,
he's
New
wild.
Balances.
Speaking of Ironman, I mean, Eric, the injury you suffered in what is your final football game, the torn pec, that sends a lot of guys off the field and to the hospital, and I mean, end seasons, and yet you finished a football game. Can you talk a little bit about the Ironman mentality there, or am I overtelling the story? Was it not as bad as it looked to me after the game?
Oh, it definitely was bad. Tell by the surgery I had, and the road back is not going to be fun. But honestly, when you're in that moment, I've always tried to compartmentalize what is important and what I need to worry about, what I'm thinking about. And I've been able to deal with a lot of pain throughout my career. You just push it aside, right? It's irrelevant in the moment. It doesn't affect the job that I got to do. And for me, all I kept thinking about was roll over, get up. I'm getting talked to by the D coordinator, what the call is, run back to the huddle, get the call, get the guys lined up, make your checks, run the play, and do it over again and again and again and again, and not worry about how I'm feeling, not worry about what I'm doing to my arm, because it's irrelevant. Like, I can't change what had happened. I can't change the pain I'm in, but I can change how I look at and how I affect the game from here on out, and not it affect me. So looking back at that game, I really don't know how I did it. The mind is powerful. And I just wanted to be in the moment, right? I had no tomorrow. I didn't have another season. I didn't have another game. And as long as I wasn't a liability out there and not able to do my job better than everybody else, then I would have took myself out. But I was able to run. I still was able to talk and communicate. And the few times I did have to make that tackle, I just threw it in there and didn't worry about how much worse it was gonna make it.
Jeez, that's insane.
So no thoughts of like taking your shirt off at halftime and throwing that in the crowd and just getting an Uber and leaving?
No, definitely not. Not in that moment. I mean, geez, like this whole thing is crazy, right? Like, who would have ever thought, let alone come back in the NFL for a 1 week span of playing 5 days later against Arizona to 4 weeks later starting in the Super Bowl. Like, there was no way I was coming off that field as long as I was able to do what I needed to do. But this is what everyone dreams of, like, whether you're a coach or a player, to play in the biggest game all the time and all the sacrifice. And for me personally, being done for 2 years, like, that doesn't happen. Like, it may not ever happen to a guy. So I was just trying to make the most of it and do whatever I could to help my guys win that game. And thankfully it was meant to be, man. It was meant to be. We're Super Bowl champs.
To me, that is just
lost art in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody I've known who's ever had that injury is done for the season. And
I sat out when I broke my pinky one time.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Hey, Tristan, state of RB football right now. How good are you guys going to be?
Next year?
Yeah, this coming fall.
Yeah, we're reloading a little bit. We lost a ton of senior starters, but we're gonna get after it and give it everything we have. So we have some pieces. We have some good kids, coachable kids. So yeah, we're gonna get after it.
Eric, is it hard for you? Because I mean, you're so fresh out of the game. I mean, 2 weeks. Do you come in? I think a lot of people want to change the schemes. The concepts, the verbiage to that exactly what they know or have they done for 15 years. Is that above high school, or you think the high school kids can handle that?
Yeah, I mean, it'll over the next few months, and then moving into the season, just being around the program and being around Coach T and learning from him and learning just the ins and outs of the job. Right, I know how to coach. I know X's and O's, and I know how to get through to the kids and make things simple, but there is a whole nother world that I don't know. So being able to learn and humble myself to listen is going to be huge for myself and something that I look forward to. But the scheme stuff, honestly, the thing that I feel that we'll have an advantage over anybody else is what I could bring scheme wise. So I'm going to push the limits to these boys and push them as far as they can go. Both that they could play freely, play without thinking, but also have an advantage by what we're doing schematically. So I'll dive into what we've been doing as a program, both offense, defense, and special teams, and then maybe take here, but ultimately combine what I've learned over my career and apply it to these boys to make them as great as possible on Friday nights. And I fully expect we'll do that.
So I have a story. Can I tell you guys?
Sure,
a story
absolutely. Are you kidding me?
So my son played for Eric this fall in Pop Warner, and Eric plans like 3 Zoom meetings with the kids going into the season a week, to do install. And so I'm sitting there at the first one, and I'm off camera, I'm like over here, and my son's listening, and I'm listening, and he's going over defensive install, and he's talking about like, all right, so the 3 tech, you're going to be the 3 tech in this front, and then you're going to slide and play a, weak side shade in this front, and then, the safety, you're going to be an ALF player here, and I'm looking at Mason, and my son's pretty smart. He's been around football, for a while, and I go, do you have any idea what he's talking about? And he goes, I have no clue. So we go from there, and I'm like, Eric, man, I don't know. And I tell you what, though, like I give him so much credit because by the end of the season, I mean, these kids had it down. These 11, 12-year-olds had it down. I mean, they were running some pretty complicated stuff for Pop Warner. And that's to Eric's credit, his ability to teach and believe in these kids that they can do it. He sets the bar really high and the kids meet it, so.
Well, what's going on in general in high school football is the level of sophistication is pretty eye-opening, don't you think, Coach?
Oh my gosh. And Eric, I'm sure you were the same way. And Burt, I don't know. I mean, what I was being taught when I was in high school, it's like
ancient.
Club and rip, yeah.
Do the
slap and
I mean,
I remember my high
played
school
one
coach
front,
would put
one
cigarettes
coverage.
on our, if we got in trouble, he'd put a cigarette out in your helmet. I'm like, I can't even imagine sitting on the sideline today. And it was my dad. No, it wasn't my dad.
Hey, before, because I just want to get this question in because I'm a Vikings fan, Eric.
Yes.
Kevin O'Connell, is he gonna succeed?
Oh, I fully believe him, and in him, I love his demeanor. I love his ability to adapt and improvise, and how he can relate to guys. There's just a difference between guys. As much as I love Sean and Harbs and all the great coaches, there's just something to be said that you played the game and you have a unique ability to understand your players, give them information, right? But also understand and being able to listen to them as well. And I think he's just going to do an unbelievable job of the flow of the games, how he connects the players, his even kill mentality, and being able to adjust. That's such a huge attribute for coaches is, things change on the fly, whether it's from series to series, quarter to quarter, or even halftime. You sometimes have to just throw out the whole game plan. And are you able to do that as a coach? Are you able to connect and be able to get your point across if something that's not going right, and your players are able to adapt and understand it and execute on the fly? So I think he has all those attributes. I think he's a leader. I think the guys will love him, and getting an offensive guy in there will be huge for the offensive players in that, you're talking about Jefferson with Cousins and Cook. I mean, you guys got a lot of great pieces. I think he'll be able to install what he wants, and then bring in the culture that he came from the Rams. I mean, the Rams culture it's a we not me mentality, and it's more than the individual. And they have one rule, and it's so funny. It'll be my rule when we take over. It's be on time. It's so simple and so easy. Just be on time to everything you're at, and we will have no issues. And so I'm excited for him, especially a San Diego guy. We competed against each other in college, and seeing how his career is unfolded, just amazed by him and his work ethic. And good things happen to those that work hard and are determined to be the best.
Did you hear Coach Weddle be on time?
I heard. I'm always on time. I still am on the background thing. When you watch us later, Eric, I mean, the jerseys are great, but Tristan has a couple decorative plates in the back. If you could sprinkle them in with some of the jersey decorative plates, it would be awesome.
Right?
That's all you're missing back there is
don't you have
decorative
a
plates.
golf trophy or something? Did your foursome ever win?
Put some Wedgwood out there or something. I don't know.
This is my wife's workspace, though, so I gotta,
right.
This is her world. This is her world.
Hey, we'll wrap this up. Just a couple more questions, guys. Tristan, quickly, state of high school football here in San Diego. We had a lot of guys moving around now, and it seems like there's like an open free agency period. Is high school football here in San Diego healthy, in your opinion?
Oh my gosh, Paul, we're gonna need a separate podcast for that.
Well, which we can do.
And if you do, invite me back, because I have a bazillion thoughts about it.
Well, give me your top sheet.
I feel like we've lost our way a little bit, to be honest, with youth sports and high school sports. I feel like we've gotten off track of what it's all about. You look at all the transferring and what have you done for me in club sports, and not just football, but I just think in general. I think we got to get back to what high school sports and youth sports is all about. It's developing kids. And, that said, I mean, I think, the level of competition around here is obviously,
intense,
better than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what direction we continue to go down.
I can see that you have things to say that you're.
Yeah, he wants to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll build a roundtable on that one, and we'll have you back.
But he's going to be an assistant coach. You can say whatever he wants now. They don't get in trouble.
Well, but not.
That's right.
Not,
that's
not,
right.
Next year, come back next year and say whatever you want.
Email the head coach.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
take it up with the head coach.
Let me do this, because I wanted to see if you could guess Eric Weddle. All right, Eric. Who will Eric say the best player he ever played with, offense or defense, in San Diego? Who's he going to say?
In San Diego?
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, I would say.
Eric?
LT.
I would say Antonio Gates.
Oh,
very good.
Missed again.
Best player he ever played with in Baltimore?
Tony Jefferson.
Eric, you're going to say Suggs, right?
Your friends, you better say Tony Jefferson.
TJ.
Yeah, Tony, I'm on now. Give me the tiebreaker.
Okay. And the best player on the Rams is going to be obvious. It's going to be Donald, right?
Aaron Donald, I think.
Yeah.
I like Von Miller,
question.
too, though.
Well,
Von Miller's up there, but
Yeah.
AD is one of one. There'll never be another AD. No chance.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you we dragged this on longer than we ever anticipated. It's very cool of you to make time. And Coach Weddle, Coach McCoy, thank you for making Podcast 29 so special.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
for having us on, man.
You bet.
Awesome.